Ladies and gentlemen, here this evening, lady behind me, her name is Jenny Levette, and she is the Director of Corporate Services at the Otis Bowen Center. And she's here representing the former governor, the Honorable Otis Bowen, and she has a presentation to our players.
Thank you for having me here. On behalf of the Bowen Center, how many of you know what the Bowen Center is? I'll just let you know, we are just right up the street, and we are community mental health, and we just help good people who are going through tough times, just help them deal with different problems through counseling. So what I would like to present with you is something very special, just on behalf of our center as well as Doc Bowen. Dr. Otis R. Bowen was a former governor here in Indiana, and he just lives right up the street now. He's retired, of course, but he assigned a basketball for you guys, and just like a little Bowen Center basketball that we have, just to congratulate you. So we went through and signed 20 of those little basketballs, and just wanted to present that with you just as a token of how proud we are of you. And I know that you guys have worked really hard to get to this point. And I am a big basketball fan personally. I've grown up here in Indiana, born and raised in Warsaw. And that's okay, I don't have too many loyalties there. I went to Grace College as well, and my dad is a basketball coach there, so I'm a coach's daughter. So I get fired up about basketball. And in fact, Coach and your coach know each other well. So I know, as my dad would say, you guys are the Dyson Slice type of players. You just get in there and you get it done. And so we are just really proud of you, and just wanted to give you a token of our congratulations. So congratulations, guys. If you want to come up and receive your bag. And we also put a little Bowen Center flashlight in there just to remind you that, you know, if you ever get off the beaten track, that we provide a light for you. Here, you guys get 2 free counseling sessions at the Bowen Center, part of your student assistance program. So if you know, you guys are good kids, and if you get in a situation that you didn't mean to be in, we are here to help you get out of there. So get you back on the right track. So congratulations, guys.
After being around us coaches all year, those 2 counseling sessions came in handy early. We love our politicians. A lot of them are around a lot of the time. Doc Bowen is different. This autograph is special. He's a special person in Indiana basketball, Indiana history, and just a special person. Byron will start us off with the invitation.
Lord, I just want to thank you for bringing this great group of people together here tonight to celebrate the wonderful season you blessed us with, and please bless the food for us and everyone who prepared it for us. Amen.
Let's eat. Players, lead the way.
The freshmen are going first.
Over there, your little whatever you want to call it, it's not going to last nearly as long as ours in here. You are very welcome to come back in here when the freshman and JV awards are passed out. Just come on in the back here, find a seat and sit down. Players or parents are welcome. And then after we are all finished, we're going to have our video that Chad and Jake and, I don't know, Jared, you work on a little bit too, or you just carry it for us? Okay. But that'll be the very last thing this evening, and I think that's about an hour altogether, I've been told. But it's pretty good stuff. So we'll see you guys maybe in a little bit.
Michael, say something about our training suit first.
Five minutes was enough for me to finish up all my food. Still chewing. Kristen, where's Kristen at? Is she in here? Come on up, give Kristen a hand. Kristen, our trainer, as well as everyone else's trainer who's at the track meet, and you're there doing everything under the sun, except it wasn't sunny, was it, Jake? Thank you, Kristen, for all you do. Here's a plaque. And along with Kristen, we have, forgive me if I don't know which one is which, but you'll know which one is which. But I do know Katie. Katie McPherson. And we have the two twins, Sarah and Hannah. Yes, sir. Thank you, girls.
It's on, okay. The girls wanted me to tell you guys how much they enjoyed this season. They really enjoyed getting to know you and working with you, and I already knew you, but I always enjoy working with you. And to show how much they enjoyed the season, they have made you each something, and the coaches too. And these are just little booklets kind of highlighting the season. I don't know if you guys noticed, but at every game they had their cameras and they were taking pictures, and that was for you guys. So they're going to hand out these books, and they worked really hard on them, so don't throw them in the trash or anything. Yeah, the moms will probably like them more. But yeah, so they really enjoyed working with you guys.
Parents are sitting back there waiting, just like after practice or something like you always do while we're doing our thing here. Let's have the underclassmen come up here, if you would, please, just along the front. All the non-starting underclassmen. And in keeping with what we normally do, we'll say a few things. We'll try to keep this, since we have a really neat, I saw part of it last night at about 11:30, the first half of their video, and it's something that I think you're going to like, and I think some of you know some about it because you had some input in it. But we'll try to keep this short enough that we're not here too late watching that video. I didn't think you'd believe that. But we'll say a few things about these underclassmen, and we'll start with Jeremy, the sophomore. Just a tough competitor, not going to make many mistakes, either end of the floor, offensively or defensively. Solid, steady player. Andy, how would you explain? He's going to come at you. He's not coming out of the game because he's doing wrong things, anything like that. PJ, he probably every perimeter position at least, and he ends up playing an unusual position, which is kind of a tough thing to do. Point guard an awful lot in practice, but he also is learning the 2 spot and the 3 spot as well. PJ is one of those guys, and we seem to have one every year, that holds up practice. Because he's, now Chad's another one, but he's down there shooting free throws. You thought something else was coming, I know. I can see your mind's better, I can see your mom and dad's mind. Oh, what did we do? 5 other things. And we have how many you can make in a row, and you stop when you miss your last one. And PJ was not uncommon, I put it that way, for PJ to be the last one done. And I don't know what he shot, maybe 73% for the year. But he may, I don't know, who had the record even for the most in a row in practice. But PJ was right up there. 47, I think PJ was in the 30s maybe. Blaine, I thought, coming off football and being a football player, some of these guys are basketball players playing other sports, and I thought Blaine greatly, and I was talking with Coach Scott about that, just greatly improved over the course of the year. And I think that says an awful lot, because I don't think you're going to do that unless your heart, mind, body is in it. And in our competition drills and stuff we do at the end of the year, he was a factor. Sam, tough role this year. With us, practicing all the time, then with the B team playing most all the time till right at the end of the year. It's something I just don't like doing to kids, but in a way I think I'm doing, I do it for kids. You gotta think of something here. These, if you can imagine playing against, you're looking at the state championship teams down there, the 4 teams, you can imagine playing against them like 4 times during the year. You think you get better playing against them? Look at these guys. Every night in practice, playing against state championship team. Can it help you? Maybe. It depends on how you deal with it and how you handle it. These guys and Sam, I think, benefited greatly from it because of their approach to it. And I was really pleased with his assertiveness on the B team, both ends of the floor. Ryan, great attitude, just like Blaine, greatly improved over the year. I just really like his inside moves. We thought he really improved on his inside moves, and was an assertive player inside. And great competitive spirit in a good way. Nick, weren't really sure what to expect from Nick at the start of the year. He just kind of lay around all summer, so we weren't sure what he was going to do. Not by his own choice, as most of you know, but it just probably by Christmas time, second half of the year, his improvement was incredible. And didn't play too bad in the last game of the year, I don't think either. That's it? Okay. Hold on just a second. Have a couple things right here. I really thought a big strength of this team was the togetherness, which I'll probably emphasize here a few times tonight. A big factor in that I thought was parents last summer, not the least of which Greg Rans and John Wendell took the team, and we're kind of seeing some of these pictures I was watching. You're kind of see, oh wow, that sounds like summertime. Let's go play long weekends. I mean, we got guys playing their fifth game, coaches coaching their fifth game after a long weekend. I mean, you're tired, you're fatigued, and it was a lot of commitment on their part. Just being there would have been significant. It would have been a real blessing to me. But the impact and the influence that they had on bringing this group together, it was huge in this year and the results of this year. So I really want to thank Greg and John for that. Gotten a lot of compliments about the players, a lot of emails and letters and stuff like that. And I know players have gotten a lot, and so much of it is about the personality, about their character traits and all. I think that's really neat. And then every once in a while, I kind of get the idea: are you talking to me about their character traits? I mean, like 2 hours a day, or a few months out of the year, or a year or two. Thanks. I'll accept all of that. With these guys, I will accept all of that. Knowing, quietly by the way, but knowing it ain't me. 17 years, day and night, going through some tough times, some good times and all. I know where the credit goes. Take no credit away from them, but I know where the credit goes. And you parents are pretty special. Also special, we thank him every time, but we can't thank him enough, and that's Jim Moyer. And we talked, just time after time about the quality of the work that he does, but I'm not touching on that tonight. Just the person that he is. To have our kids around a person like that, to have me around a person like that. He's just a top-notch person, and to have him part of our program just fits in with what these kids represent as well. Tony's not here tonight, but Larry Falstich, I've said it on the radio, I think one time here late in the year. We really appreciate what they do, and that can kind of just be a token, thank you. But we really appreciate what they do, because it's different. It's different than what you hear on TV. It's different than what you hear in the media. Most are kind of looking to put their own little negative twist on things and sensationalism on things. And Larry knows the game inside and out. And bless his heart, he doesn't say everything coaching-wise and player-wise that he knows about that's there. He pulls out the positive. And I think that's pretty special, pretty neat. Some of the things I get are, I'll be reading, congratulations on the team and all that sort of thing. And that'll be the small part. And then the big part will be, I want to congratulate your wife and the wives. And I'm thinking, somebody knows. Somebody here knows. Some of you mothers have a clue. And I'm thinking somebody has this thing figured out. And, Sharon, Emily, Lauren, that's it up here, I think, isn't it? Hi, Lauren. Laura. Okay, we'll stop there up here. Judy just walked in back there. Hard to express how special, how much sacrifice takes place on their part, and what a significant factor they are in all of this. The last person I will mention is John Scott, and then he will talk about a few things here. And normally when we talk about Coach Scott, we're talking about all the preparation and all the organizational things he does. Forget that nonsense right now. He's just special to these players. And I know they're special to him. He's just the kind of guy that's not necessarily going to give you all that fluff and all that sort of thing, or let you know. I guess I know him too well after how many, 30 years or whatever, but he's going to have to be careful, because you guys are awfully special to him, and I know it's reciprocal. And I think sometimes he does so many things outside of them, sometimes we forget, or I forget to mention, I don't forget it, but I forget to mention what a factor he is just on the floor and his relationship with players and all. John Scott.
This guy is a hard act to follow. I got some people here I need to mention before I start getting into some other things here. Ron Zimmerman, you guys all know Ron. He was going to be here tonight. Something happened, couldn't be here, but we really appreciate everything he's done for us throughout the year. He's done some things for us maybe that you guys don't know about in terms of being places for pictures and so on. He also wanted me to let you know that there are some things on his website. I don't know what the website is. I'm sure the mothers know what the website is. They're pretty good at that. But I guess he's got some new things out, something about some poster with the team on it or something. So check out the website and maybe you can find out what that's all about. Yoder Sports Center, Nikki and Craig, and I see Amy over here. I don't know if you're part of that. Maybe, sort of. They donated some hats here this evening. I put one of them on the table over there, and I think players are going to get one of those here, so we thank them for that. Also, we've got some plaques for the players. I've also got one of those sitting out over there also that they're all going to be getting. Big thank you to a couple ladies that probably got really tired of me calling and asking for things this year. Judy Clinton and Mercy Renz. I know Mercy, when I called her one time, she was, I could hear her in the background. What's he want now? But they've been great all year in getting things organized with the parents and the food after the games and whatever we needed, they were able to finagle, scrounge, or whatever it took. They were able to do that, so we really appreciate their efforts on this. Now for some other important people. Really, good assistant coaches are really an essential part of any good basketball program. The guys that helped us out this year helped out with all the duties that were asked of them throughout the entire year. They helped with the scouting and the breaking down of game tapes of opponents, making a dub tape of our opponent to show the players, helping with game preparation during practice, just making suggestions on game nights. And these guys are essential to any type of good program. Michael Dell, of course, not with us tonight. He has been with us in the past as a volunteer coach and just couldn't commit to the time that was needed that he knew that he would have to put into it with family and sports that he coaches and so on. But Michael decided to help us out a little bit anyway this year. I think he scouted a couple opponents for us this year, maybe Northridge, and I think there was one sectional opponent that he had. But you know, even though he wasn't with us out there on the court and during practice, I know spiritually he was always with us. I mean, he'd talk to me after the games, and I might see him once during the week, and you know, just the way he talked, the way he was enthusiastic about these kids. I know he was right there with us, even though he wasn't there in body, he was definitely there in spirit. So we really appreciate Michael's support. Tom Eisenbarger, our freshman coach, he's been doing this longer than I have. I think at the varsity level, freshman coach, JV level. Izo's kind of the master of the X and O's and knowing what a team's going to do offensively and defensively. His freshman teams, which I always enjoy watching during the year, are always very well prepared for all the obstacles that they might encounter along the way. So we appreciate everything that Coach Eisenbarger does. I think the freshmen ended up 16-3 this year. Greg Sheets was first time volunteer assistant coach for us. He helped out Tony Plotho at the JV level. Of course, Jeffrey, his son, played for us a couple years ago, currently playing at Huntington University. So we really appreciate the help that Greg was able to give Tony this year. Tony just finished up his 7th year as our JV coach. He was the varsity assistant for a few years, and I think he was the 7th grade coach maybe for a while, if I remember right, for at least 1 year over at Lincoln. Tony always does a great job preparing his kids. You know, I think with his group of kids that he had this year, he did not have a true post player in the bunch. And that's amazing that he was able to put 5 guards out there at a time and still finish 18-2 this year. I don't know, you know, if you really watched the JV games that closely, but I just thought that was a pretty amazing thing to play the kids that he had out there and this lack of size that he had and still get 18 wins with the schedule that we have. Talking about some of these guys up here, Zach Scott sitting up here. How many of you had the pleasure of coaching your son and coaching with your son? I think Coach Edison and I might be the only two in this room that have had that pleasure, but you know, I really enjoyed coaching Zach when he was coming through the program, and you know, I really enjoyed being with him this year. He helped out with the post players, he helped out with the scouting. I think he had a couple different teams that he had to get ready for, and just enjoyed being around the team this year. So we really enjoyed having him, and thank him for helping us out. Joel Grindle, we finally stole him away permanently from the junior high when the corporation decided to move the 6th graders away, and his dynasty at the 6th grade has now ended, but you know, it will always be remembered, I know. So we really enjoyed having Joel with us full-time this year. He helped out with the post players also, helped out tremendously with the scouting part of it. I think he had 3 or 4, maybe 5 opponents, I can't remember for sure, but you know, we really enjoyed having Joel and getting his expertise. Michael, I believe this was his 5th year with us, 6th year, 7th year, 8th, 7th year with us here in Plymouth. We stole him away from Concord, and I think Concord regrets that right now, but we're very glad to have him with us. Michael and I joke when we see each other that almost every day for 6 months we see each other. 6 months in a row, every day, and then for the next 6 months after that, we don't see each other maybe twice the rest of the year. And, but we still stay in touch a little bit. I think I email him every once in a while, 10 or 12 times a day. But I think when Jack finally decides to give it up, whenever that might be, I don't think there's a better replacement than the guy sitting over here next to me. So Michael is extremely knowledgeable when it comes to basketball, and he has a lot of respect for the players. So ladies and gentlemen, without these great assistants, our season, I don't think would have been quite as successful. And I thank them, and I think you'd like to thank them right now also. Carrie, come on down. These are two managers that we've had throughout this year. Nolan, this is his third year he's been with us. He has grown into his job very well. When he was a freshman, I don't think he knew what he was getting into. He ended up going to the state finals as a freshman, and I think he ended up enjoying the season by the end. But at the beginning, I think his head was kind of spinning and was wondering, what the heck am I doing this for? Last year and this year, he's really taken off with his responsibilities. He knows exactly what he needs to do on, whatever night it is. The night before a game, he knows his responsibilities. Game night, he knows his responsibilities. So Nolan is now a seasoned veteran, and we're looking forward to having him again next year as a fourth-year manager. Thanks, Nolan. Carrie Edison, I don't know when it was, Jack said something to me, October or something, about Carrie being manager, and I kind of gave him a double take or something, just wondering, and he says, I don't know if I want to do that or not. We've never had a girl before. And thought about it, and just didn't know for sure how things were going to work out, but just knowing Carrie the way I do, I knew very well that she would fit in. She did some things this year for us that we, as players and coaches, have not had done. I've always had a bulletin board in the coaches or in the locker room, and it got to be pretty boring. You guys will have to admit it was pretty nasty. Carrie took that over. I said to her, Carrie, why don't you do this? I just don't have the touch. And Carrie had the touch. She decorated that up like it was her own room, I think. All I had to do was bring her the things from the newspaper, and then she did it, whatever she wanted to do. And I probably should have taken a picture of that, or maybe she did. I bet you did, didn't you? You never did? Okay. But Carrie was just wonderful to have at practice and on game. You really didn't notice her being around much. And but she was always there in terms of when we needed things done and getting things done, and she just did a great job, and we really appreciate having Carrie this year. I'm sorry we don't get a red shirt. She would bring you back again next year, but she's got better things to do next year. Carrie Addison.
We did something, had a vote, been coaching, had managers, I don't know, sometimes we have two managers like this, sometimes we've had years with none, I guess, where you can't find anybody. So I had this vote for the last 34 years, the top managers. That's kind of the in thing on TV shows right now, the top rank and so on. So that'd be, I think, 68 managers we've had. These two finished 1 and 2. And I would just like to, in my voting, and I would just like to say, Nolan, you finished a close second.
All of you know who Pat Summitt is, right? She's the head coach of Tennessee girls basketball team. I read in the paper last week that Coach Summitt, after they won the NCAA championship, bought all of her assistant coaches brand new Mercedes. I'll take a blue one, thanks.
Oh dear, how about a used yellow one? Okay, we've got to get one more underclassman in here. And normally don't do this, but this kid just didn't act his age. Kind of acted a little more like a senior, so we got to treat him likewise, I guess, here a little bit tonight. how do I say it? I think we've got this, well, Randy let us an assist. He, I guess it was when the seniors were at this press conference. They asked, here we are, the seniors in there, and they asked about, what about Randy? One of the reporters said, I can't remember what I said now, what about him or something I said. But the thing that stood out with me about Randy was, here he is, this high-profile player that they're asking about, who I think most of you know, he's in the top 6 group in the North-South game, All-Star game, and I don't remember what the dates are on that. I think it's like June 13th in the South, maybe the 19th up here north, and then the 21st that he'll be playing in. And he was selected in those 6 to play. So he's getting a lot of media attention, he gets a lot of public attention, and well-deserved. And I think the thing we appreciate most about him, I think everybody here is like me, is his unselfishness. You know, he's a very conscientious person, humble person, but his unselfishness. And it's just kind of a team thing. It's a both-way type thing. But when you have a standout player like him that's that way, it does an awful lot towards team unity. And I think enough that we had another vote. You know, this American Idol stuff had another vote by the community. And it was one of those where, you know, you're voting back next year or not. And he won. Like 15 million to 24, something like that. I punched in about 14 million votes myself. And the 24, I think some Northwood votes got in there, and Evansville Bossy votes got in there to not return him next year. But otherwise, this kid's back. About all I can say about him is this guy can play. Randy Davis. Takes a long time with all these assistants by the time everybody gets handshakes and all. Okay, seniors. Start with Byron. And Byron really added a dimension to us offensively. I was watching some videotape last night of him playing in the elementary and junior high, and it was fun to watch. But when you have a player like Byron that can play inside and play outside, shoot like he can from the perimeter, and has the post moves he has, the mid-range, the quick jumper that he's developed since junior high days, since his freshman and sophomore days, really, that really gives you an added dimension, an added threat. Can make your offense look pretty good when you're bringing somebody like that in the game. Court awareness. Just the savvy that he has. Maybe overlooked, maybe not by some of you people. I think a lot of you people understand the game and recognize some of the little things that I think are big things, like his passing, his unselfishness, of course, but his passing. And I don't know, I didn't figure this out, but I wouldn't be surprised as a rebounder. He's just a strong rebounder. As a rebounder, he may have led us in rebounds per minute play, and that's saying something on this team, because we've got some people that get after in that area. How do I explain Byron around school? He's probably one of the most polite, courteous, friendly, and these guys are that way. I guess Byron is a little unique in that you're walking down the hall, he will be the first one to say hi. He'll be the first one to greet you, and it's always with a smile. And it's always genuine. and sincere. I don't think there'd be anybody, any teacher that just doesn't have the highest regard for him, any student around school that would say anything bad about Byron. Because he's such a great kid, probably because of his size, maybe a little bit too. Always, prior to practice, he's often one of the first ones in, like a morning practice or weekend practice or after school schedule or something. He's not uncommon for him to be the first one in there, and always greets you with a smile. Pretty neat? Yeah. Be pretty neat for a headline player, wouldn't it? Pretty neat for a guy who's starting every game. But somebody who's not in the role that he would most like to be in. It's special. It's not neat. It's rare and it's special. And it's sincere. It's genuine. National Honor Society. Sometimes you have to fill those things out for people because there's a thing to go through. This was a get to fill out. Early this week, I think. Man, you talk about an easy one. I mean, there's things on there, leadership, service, character, doing things for others, unselfishness. They didn't have enough, I hate to be obnoxious with those things, put, 5+, 4+, or whatever, but he was over the top in about every area. Beginning of the year, I thought he really got us off to a good start. Not uncommon for a senior with experience to maybe be ahead of juniors or sophomores that haven't been through that kind of a thing before, especially beginning early in the year. And Rochester game, Carroll game, a couple games early, where he's, I think he's 4 for 4 in maybe Rochester game from 3-point, even scores 12, maybe 14 points. I think he led us in rebounds and did great in the Carroll game. That's statistically, but in some of those other games, especially early. And that's a big deal to me, the first part of the year. I just think a team gains confidence. Sometimes you lose a couple there early and you're a different team. You're hoping you win rather than feeling like you're going to. Byron was a big key to us at that time. I really appreciate a couple sports writers that we have around here. John, I know, would appreciate it too. Our assistant coaches would. We see that they kind of know the game. They see some insides of the game. One of them, was trying to interview John and trying to find out, and me and people trying to find out more facts about John and all the little things that he does that are gigantic. And did the same with Byron, end of the year. And finally just read that here a few days ago. But I felt like he saw the huge impact that Byron had on this team. And it hasn't been easy for Byron. I just know it hasn't. Haven't talked to him about it, just know it hasn't. Junior high, key player. Junior year, senior year, off the bench, coming in. And a very tough role to play anytime for a senior, but especially maybe under those circumstances. And if you can just kind of hang in there, I think that's special. Byron didn't just hang in there. These guys on that bench know, he is in the game the whole time on that bench. And yeah, he's clapping and cheering and calling for other people and that sort of thing. But it's more than that. He's got suggestions. I got news for you. When these guys have suggestions, we are listening. They're into it. And he's thinking all the time. That's big, just right there, patting people on the back and that sort of thing. And I just practice, his enthusiasm in practice, end of practice. we have this little tradition at the end of practice. Run. Byron probably went as hard. Probably didn't beat Jake too many times, but probably went as hard as anybody at the end of practice. And went hard during practice. I mean, it was sometimes we got the feeling in past years where certain people kind of pacing themselves towards the end because they're kind of trying to gear up for this running at the end of practice. And we don't think that's good, you know. No, none of that from Byron. And after games, oftentimes disappointed. Maybe one time senior night. I'll just point that one out. And I just know he was disappointed after that. I will bet there was not one player that sensed his disappointment. And I think he was very disappointed. It didn't work out the way I wanted or the way he wanted to come. I know. And I'll bet nobody knew that. That's incredible. 2 years ago, I am somewhere, one of these places on the awards thing, and I just felt that a big part of our success 2 years ago was the unity. And it hurt some guys who could shoot that ball, but that didn't get us there. It was just the power of unity. And you had to have been there in something like that, some group or some family or something like that to know the power. And you had to be without it to know its real impact. And I've been both. I know when it's there. Don't ask me to explain it. But I really feel like Byron was such a key this year to our team unity. Such a big factor for team unity. And I'll tell you what, if he would be a player that everybody else did not respect so highly, it wouldn't have been such a big factor. But if there's somebody going in after we win a game and he's kind of down mentally, and he's a respected player like Byron is, it has an effect. Not in conscious effect, but it has effect. We have that effect for about 6 months, and we are not the same team. Simple as that. Never saw that from Byron. Not only is he so extremely well liked by the team and extremely well respected by the team, I think the team understands his unselfish attitude was such a huge factor in our success this year. And he will get an award later that will deal right with this. I'll say right now, Byron Paulstich. On the other hand, a little different than Byron is Jerry Wendell. Loudmouth, obnoxious. A lot of enemies around school, I'm sure, from him, yeah. I just love the qualities that Jerry possesses. He's quiet. But he's not timid. He's assertive, tenacious. And just something about that appeals to me, okay? Gentleman that he's coming at you. And that's Jared to a T. Not going to change the expression at all. He's just going to, from beginning of practice to the end of practice, first drill, I mean, he's just going to come out, just some guy off the street, just punch in or whatever. As soon as that first drill starts, it's full speed until the very last thing we're doing at the very end. Day after day after day in practice. Game, same thing. He's just a quiet guy out there warming up until it's tip-off time. And then he's coming at you. And it's 32 minutes. or however long he's in there. Wow. Not concerned with any of the media, not concerned with any hype, not concerned with how many times he's touched the ball tonight or in practice, or how many plays are they running to me, or how many shots am I getting, anything like that. Boy, it's he's got a lot of company on this team, you know that. But it just really stands out with Jared, I guess. And what a work ethic he has. And I guess I'm emphasizing that a little bit because I don't think I knew Jared, that side of Jared so much the first few years of high school or through junior high. So many areas where he benefits us. He can shoot. Obviously, you know that from the perimeter. He's a great finisher inside. He can kind of make you look good on lob plays because he can kind of catch it. He can kind of hang in the air, and I don't know how he does it, but somehow he gets it back up there again. What a passer he is. I don't think you people have any idea what a passer. I think you'd have to watch some slow motion stuff or something to see some of the things he does. I'm thinking of the state finals. He catches, these guys, every once in a while we'll miss a shot, and somebody's tipping it back. And I can remember Jared catching one in the air, and I think maybe passing to Randy or something like that in midair, catching it, look this way and passing it before he even touches the ground. That's kind of a normal thing. He's just got that savvy and savvy and unselfishness, both. There's another one which I didn't know at the time. I had to watch the tape. I didn't realize it at the time. He's cutting back door underneath the basket, like laterally across the baseline. Somebody throws one under the basket to him, and he catches it. He's kind of underneath the backboard and all, and he catches it. And then he's kind of looking the other way, and he passes it. I think he's passing it to Jason or something. It's just kind of bang, bang, too quick. Wow, I played that back up, and wow, how did he see all that developing? And we didn't connect on the pass, but it was great for savvy, for awareness and all. Kind of thing that gets coaches compliments. Just that kind of play right there. Wow, you do great. Yeah, like we developed that play or something. Rebounder. He really developed into a strong defensive rebounder. Now, you know what we're talking about. We're talking about a perimeter player. I don't know, 6 foot, maybe. But what an offensive rebounder he is. And I don't know if you've got this figured out or not, but we've had some. And he kind of plays what we call 3-spot or wing spot. We've had some players before we felt like had some ability to rebound like that. Well, I want you to understand something. We need a diagram. Okay. Here to the basket would be maybe, to the wall would be the basket from where Jared's position would be. Okay. We're going to shoot the ball. Okay. Jared often was not the shooter. And look around here and thank other people, Jared, for you being the shooter. So now Jared's got 2 choices. Go down the floor that way, which you probably go from here to the break right there, or run all the way in there, after which you're going to run down the floor. Now about 40 times a game. What's your choice? Yeah, you understand the logic, the normalcy, why we can't say anybody's insane for just running back down the floor, you perimeter people in the past. Jared in there constantly, time after time after time, 40 times a game, that distance right there. And there's such a thing as just going in, and then there's such a thing as going in smartly. Like most teams will try to get boxed out or something like that. And we've got some guys, and Jared's one of them, they'll go in, they'll make a couple moves to try to knife around them. Isn't it fun? I don't know, I shouldn't say that. Some of you, isn't it fun? Watching us miss that thing? No. But part two, well, all of a sudden you see a hand going up for one of these 2 or 3 guys or Jared and just whacking that thing back out and us catching it. And we're 0 for 6, but still score that time down the floor because we're doing 2 or 3 times by guys that could be going the easy route back that way because of the work ethic or intensity level or competitive spirit or whatever you want to call it. How do these guys, look at that team, look at this team, how can they compete? Yeah, it's just things like this that are gigantic that oftentimes go unnoticed and are, I'll put it this way, they're uncoachable. I mean, you don't teach that. You don't teach anything at all that's not received. Simple as that. Yeah, we teach it every year. We get every year? No. So, pretty obvious where the credit goes. Big question. He's he kind of likes that last second type stuff too. We tried not to, these guys, I should say, tried not to have too many last second things this year. A couple overtimes, but other than that, not so much. But I can remember back in junior high, Mom will remember this, back in junior high, summer camp gets a last second shot in this gym, I remember that, this gym right here. Great, that's neat. You guys remember, some of you remember that. And, to get one of those in your career or something like that. Then in summer league, he gets a last second tip in. Nobody on our team, coach, nobody's surprised by it. That's just kind of Jared. Picked us up big too. And these are things I'm mentioning because these other things are non-stat type things. Him getting all those tips and all the stuff that he does that they don't show in statistics. Big question I had on Jared this year. I felt like he was our most improved player, and maybe at both ends of the floor. But I really had questions defensively. I wasn't, we were really expecting big things for us to compete this year defensively. Whether he would have the toughness and the tenacity. Try hard, yes, and he did every bit of it. I guess I pictured him, as kind of a quiet person. He was quiet until it counted. I know it's hard to believe that a Wendell would be such a great kid and a great athlete. Right. After 5 or 6 years of the Wendell girls benefiting our girls program so much, I think it's only fair that we get back to the Wendell guys impacting our program. And we could just get him to perform in a big game, we'll be all right. Jared Wendell. Wide range of interest, and I should have gotten more into this, I guess, but Jake Palmer, he's into woodworking, whether he wants to be or not, I think, to his parents, but remodeling or whatever they're into, rock climbing, I think, guitar for sure, and that's neat. And I've talked to many teachers around school, and they, like these other guys, they regard him highly. If I don't forget, I may remember here to tell you, I probably will, so I'll say it now. I think Byron is top 70% of his class, 17th in the senior class, and everybody is in the top 20%. Yep, Jared, and Chad, all of you. Carrie, top 10%. Jake, somewhere, 12% or something. Good students in the classroom. And you know what that 84 by 50 area is out there too. It's a classroom. We kind of look at it that way. Kind of neat when they're great students, both places. I remember Jake back in junior high and watching him in the summertime, and we just, he hadn't played a lot, particularly on the teams and all, but I remember Lee and I, then I had a chance to coach him. Something happened, and we coached him at the CMA tourney, and Jake had title coaching one day, and I think that same day he broke his arm, elbow or something, and but we really liked what we saw in him. I couldn't put him particularly into words, but maybe only these words, that not surprised by what he has achieved since that time. Offensive moves, he has a knack that he did not have a couple of years ago. And I think it happens that way, you young people. It just grows on you all of a sudden. Not the case. Yeah, he worked on it. He worked on it. That up and under move, balance, footwork. Obviously, Coach Eisenbarger impacted, and Coach Boto. But he worked on it in the off season a lot. He's the kind that's going to figure things out. He's going to play against people or do whatever he needs to. And I felt from that last year to this year, he spent some time because he could finish this year better than last year. And what a credit. I don't know, I guess it is to me. Maybe some people, they just love a natural ability type person, and I kind of love that person that's kind of earned it, that's developed it. Rebounder, he's our leading rebounder this year. Both ends, he's our leading offensive rebounder, leading defensive rebounder, and what a tenacious rebounder. Such a key part of the game. These guys stand up here, and you see other teams warming up at the other end of the gym. I mean, I don't know if you look like I do sometimes. I'm looking down there and I'm looking at us, and then some people that can do that. You see me out there like this, just try to gain confidence, okay, and not get repeated before we start. Man, I just I sometimes forget. I'm out there, and I sometimes forget. I got to measure these guys' heart. Okay, it's heart, not size and all that sort of thing. Desire, all those ingredients. And that's where Jake and so many of these others rank so high. And just like Jared, well, you talk about somebody coming in there, keeping that thing alive, grabbing that thing on the offensive boards, or just keeping people and getting rebounds. I think the thing you have to understand with Jake is his man is not to be found. He'll be guarding somebody who's averaging 7-8 rebounds a game, and Jake may get 4 rebounds that game, and his man gets 1. He was just a key to our defense, and I don't know. Most everybody says defense wins. We feel like it. I mean, I need football coaches, even commentators, some of them that don't know much even say defense wins baseball, football. If that's the case, Jake deserves a big plus in that area. Especially for us, we're switching. So Jake's going to be guarding oftentimes a point guard out front. And boy, what an added dimension. I felt like some people recognized our defense as one of the better defenses that we've had. And when you have a person that can play the outside and the inside, equally well. Especially since we start Jake oftentimes on a perimeter guy anyway, just to give him a break from the 6'5", 250 pounders that they have to play inside. I thought I'd write this down. I was going to get 2 or 3 key games that, okay, Jake, we're going to stick you on this guy. Any of these guys, tell Jake in the middle of the week, okay, you're going to guard Maurice Gary, Division I player, you're going to be guarding. Now here's what we need you to do this week. Nobody says anything. We just, coaches, whoever's got that, they put names up there. Nobody needs to say anything. They know what they need to do, and what a credit to them. I started back with Fort Wayne Carroll, and I didn't go back any further. They've got a kid by the name of Taylor that's just a big time player, and Jake shut him down. Pittman, we felt like was such a key for Memorial, and he got very little against Jake. Concord game, I think, Jake was on Maurice, and I think he frustrated him. He got, I don't know, maybe 16, 18 points, but didn't have the game he normally has when he has it. And of course, we do some switching also. Jake could easily set it up somebody else. And I think Jason had Mary in that game and really shut him down that game. Then we're playing, I all of a sudden start putting numbers down here, I guess. Leach from Wawasee, what a player he is. 1 for 10. Just one of those bad nights he had. Eaton from Northridge, I think he was averaging 20 some or whatever. He got 11 points, 3 rebounds is all he got that game. He was down at Lopeta. He is a highlight ready to happen. I mean, we saw some highlights on it from CMA. He got 9 points, 0 rebounds. Thompson from Glenn got 4 points. Key player for Glenn. 2 rebounds. Combs kid from Knox got 4 points, 2 rebounds. Big concern for us. Kowalski from St. Joe hit the last second shot the first time we played him. 6 points. He got against us in the sectional. A kid by the name of Titus from Northwood got 4 points, 3 rebounds, 4 turnovers. He was averaging probably 20 points or something in the last 7, 8 games of the year. He got 4 points. I'm not sure he touched the ball 4 times. Is that possible? Johnson, you might not be too familiar with him. He was from Boise, averaged 50 rebounds a game or something. He was incredible. He got 8 points, but I think he probably got 4 or 6 of them in the last couple minutes of the game, and it was like a 20-point game or something. Jake would sometimes get a very big compliment at the end of the game. Not from me, no, but from the opponent. Like you'd be looking out there, and the opponent would go like this. Just frustrated. And that's a great compliment because Jake wasn't doing anything dirty, underhanded, anything like that. He's just pestering you the whole game. He's just there the whole game. I want the ball. I normally can cut through here and at least, not have this body stopping me from cutting through. Okay, deny me the ball, but don't stop my body from going through it. Or I can at least touch the ball on a rebound or something like that. And after about 6, 8, 10, 12, 31 minutes of that, it's really frustrating. And I don't see that ever in practice. I don't see that ever in the game. And I have to play against this son of a gun, and it's not light.
quite a leader as well. Could go into a lot there. Probably just the one thing I'll mention about his leadership was, I can remember he's on the sideline his junior year. We're during tryouts, and there's a couple kids that, as it ended up, they didn't make the team, but they're really struggling trying to figure out anything, where to go, and what to do. And Jake's explained it to them just like they're starting senior or something like that, which I think is neat leadership-wise, but I think it's just neat, period, as a person. Most every great team, everyone we've had, almost every great team has a Jake. He's just a guy that's tough-minded, hard-nosed, flies under the radar. Sometimes under the radar of the opposing coach, you would probably not mention necessarily in practice till towards the end of the year. Then they're starting to understand the impact that they have. Individual game, all the little things, yeah. Individual games, like, let me give you a couple of examples. Carroll, I wrote that one down. He was 6 for 6 from the field, 7 rebounds. Northridge, 3 for 3, and 3 for 3 from the line. Gary worked. Not too bad a game, 5%. I think he had 18 points. Remember, 18 points, but he's 5%. The efficiency part of 10 rebounds against Gary Work. Big game, yeah, but he doesn't have to score to have an impact. I was trying to think of something, and Monday night I see Gene and Ida Chip. Gene was in the Navy, and I think he's something of a sponsor or something, because Jake's going into the Naval Academy. And so I see them, I said, okay, give me what's some sort of a naval quote or some paragraph, trait, or something like that. So I said, we'll email you. So yesterday I get this email, and there's these things about go down with the ship, and I don't think we can use all that kind of stuff and all. Let's stay up with the ship. Let's look at the inside of it. And so I got this feeling, I know this a little bit, at the bottom. Now, Randy, probably some juniors will know this, when this happened, back in 1864, I think, at Farragut or something like that, said, they're on the water and they're getting attacked, and they said something about darn the torpedoes, was that it? Or something close to that, full speed ahead. And I thought, okay, I can kind of see that. Here's these torpedoes, I'm picturing this now, okay? Here's these torpedoes. Here's these big obstacles coming at us to kill us. And I'm thinking about this game-wise, there's these, we're down there at Pasico, and 218 practicing right after us. We're out there watching. Yeah, they were finishing up. Before us, they're finishing up, and they got what they call these D lines. You know what that means? You don't know what that means, do you? Dunk lines. Golf balls, maybe. But and man, they're slamming that thing down. Over half the guys, maybe 8 or 9 of them. That's 2A schools. We saw enough game tape to know what Bossy could do. So here we are. We're warming up, and here's those torpedoes, big, nasty at the other end. And there's Jake. Why do I have a little bit of confidence at the start of the game? There's Jake at the other end, and you just know he and his crew is going to be heck of those torpedoes, full speed ahead. That's Jake Palmer. I don't know if there's any correlation between a season like this and the length of this or not, but there may be. Jake was second team all conference as well. Randy was first team all conference. And Jason Renz, also like Randy, first team all conference. What a versatile player Jason is. Talk about dimensions that you add to a team. He's a complete person, obviously, but he's a complete player. He played point and has. He played point guard. He played a wing, and not only that, and the post, which we had him playing mostly this year. Not only that, if we bring out a new play, he'll know all 5 positions in about 2 minutes. I'll figure out maybe a few of the positions, and then he knows them all. Defensively, he's guarding a big post man a lot inside, and that's never been his position up through junior high, elementary, or early in high school. And with our, like we're saying with Jake, with our switching man-to-man defense, that's such a big factor, and much like Jake, Jason could play that perimeter. I don't know how to explain Jason to you. You have to, it's one of those things where you have to watch him in slow motion before you really fully appreciate all the things he does. If he's guarding a post man inside, there'll be things, and that's why I have a great disliking for statistics, even though we use them, read them off to you and that sort of thing. But there's so many things that are so key to this, to winning, that can't be in a stat, that can't get in a stat. You'll be guarding a low postman. Somebody will be driving, and he will go out and stop the guy from driving. Drop back. And so here it is, down low post. And then he'll stop him, then he'll drop back real cleverly and stop this guy inside, leave this guy open. And then he'll get a guy over here, and he gets a little deflection or something like that. He's guarding 1 or 2 or 3 people. We're scouting teams. They're attacking. Man, this team drives. This team goes. And, I had that question after the Bossy game. I thought you were also worried about their speed and their quickness and their drive and that sort of thing. And it showed up in the fourth quarter. But when you have a guy like Jason, and many others doing the same thing, with the intelligence and the savvy with which they play defense, where they're guarding different people. It may not show up in rebounds, it may not show up in steals, deflections, anything like that. But that team, they don't look that good. I thought they were supposed to be good. They don't look that good. Yet Jason's like that, and they happen to have off nights. Yeah, and it's I don't know. I guess it's not quite so bad. I guess it's a shame to me that all these things can't be recognized by everybody, but there's still, on times like that, there's about 15 people that know. Maybe a couple of you moms and dads know, but there's about 15 people on that bench that know, and point it out, and appreciate it, and know how big and how game-changing it is. And that's not to mention the big things that really do stand out, and Jason is number one in this area, and that is when these monsters come, or the monsters, sometimes they're monsters, and sometimes they're just these little guys that are going about 88 miles an hour, like Gary Wirt, kid coming down the court, and anybody in their right mind is a bullfighter at that time, and just steps to the side. Not Jason. He's there taking taking that charge. He's got a knack for taking it, and he's got a courage for taking it. And doggone it, I don't think he's taught his little brother any better either. But he's got the same courage and grit to do the same thing. Rebounding. He's really developed a knack for rebounding. I don't think we talked with, but he can seal a guy off and shield a guy off and just kind of rebound with one hand, kind of like you see in the pros. I've often felt like the best rebounders are not the best jumpers. You always think rebounding has to be great jumping ability or height or something like that. But when you got the defensive rebounding, when you got the positioning, the smarts to get the position, that's a big key for defense. Offensive rebounding, that's desire. How many times do you see Jason and a few of these others we talked about offense like a free throw missed, and they're tipping it back, diving in, keeping that thing alive. And the darn thing about Jason is you don't always know that he's getting the rebound unless you really watch him closely. He'll be like once in the state finals, and maybe you've seen videotape enough times that you realize it. He goes up, and you probably think it bounces off his hand or something, but you have to know him. He goes up for a rebound here, and he just taps it over. Jerry, I think, maybe his foul won't play, I think. In the first half, that was an end. Just that savvy, the unselfishness, the court awareness that he has as well. Fun making plays this year. I had too much fun making plays, I guess, this year. When you got a group like this, bringing in as many as we did, and teams, I don't know why they're trying to beat us so badly, but they scout us big time. And I don't know, I got this. Always like to kind of have, if we've got the right kind of mentality and ability to kind of change things towards the end of the year for the tournament and all, and maybe surprising people with some things. And guys like Jason gives you that ability because we ran so many things through Jason on offense. Plays that we can set up. Maybe on the perimeter where he catches it and now he makes that next pass to somebody that's going to do the thing. Or low post, we did an awful lot more than we've ever done. I've done for a long time. Usually we're passing low post and wow, you get a guy who can catch it like Jason. Take care of it. Pivot. Take care of that ball like Jason. Score with it, low post, keep the defense on their heels, make wise decisions like he does. Man, what a dimension that adds. Very, very few mistakes. You kind of, probably your biggest challenge as a coach is shut up and let them make their decisions because it's going to be better than anything you can think of. And what a passer. I think, he's got great savvy, he's got great court awareness, but just his unselfish spirit is probably, I don't know, stands out with me as much as anything else. We'll be, and this is kind of signature of this team. We'll be making like 3-4 passes. And about the 5th pass, that guy's open. And that's a decent shot. And he will pass it up to pass it to somebody else who is open, or maybe a little bit better shot, maybe a little bit more high percentage shot. We'll pass it up to somebody who's a little more open, or maybe a little higher percentage. All these guys, all these guys are that way. And I'm just thinking of state tourneys sometimes. I can think of one where we're passing it 5 or 6 times. Jason catches it. I think, wow, that's a good shot. And all of a sudden, just bang, bang. He passes it to the side. I think it was to Brandy. And I think for Jason, wow, that'd have been close to a 50% shot. He gives it up to Randy for a higher percent shot yet, because of the way the game was going and that sort of thing. And maybe who's got the hot hand, but just figuring those things out instantaneously is one thing. Unselfishness to do it, wow, that's above and beyond. Jason had 64 assists, which means nothing to you. You got to figure out average and all that sort of thing. So what? And 24 turnovers, which may not mean too much to some of you now. You're, oh my, that's almost 3-1. If you can ever get somebody who handles the ball an awful lot, if you ever get 2-1, like on college level, pro level, that's incredible. I mean, that is the ultimate right there. 3-1 is that's kind of out there, out of the box somewhere. Scoring, like I said, good inside moves. Our top 3-point percentage shooter this year, making all those passes. Yeah. Kind of characteristic of this team, isn't it? I think another big key, Jason, was his unselfishness, not to mention his screening and getting people open, that sort of thing. But that, I think, was a big key to our team unity. When you get a player of his ability who would score a lot of points, be it as unselfish as he is, that draws people together. His mind, what a leader he is. We've got several leaders on this team, and Jason's incredible in this area. He's always thinking. He's one of those I was talking about the other night at the pep rally. He's up and down the sidelines during practice. If he's not on the floor, and it's not rah-rah stuff. He's talking specific things. We need to get here, or make this cut here, or set him up and then cut in something specific, something significant. Something that will actually impact the game. Now that's neat, because now we're playing our conference rival this week. But now we're playing the semi-state game, and everybody's in the game. Everybody's talking about it. No. Well, I'm not talking that. I'm talking we're playing a 1-14 team. That the media isn't going to cover this week. There won't be newspaper there or anything. He's going to be on center. It doesn't matter what the game is. It's just that's part of him. And he's got, in what he's doing, he's got a great knack of correcting people, of saying in a way that's uplifting, positive, where it's not taken the wrong way. Would be uncommon for Michael or one of us coaches to see him one of the last ones off the bus. I don't know if I should say this to you parents or not, but I'm going to say it anyway. These guys are something. They do extras. And it's not how do I say this? It's not because okay, I'm trying to get him to do a coach type thing, you know, and make him look good. This is, you know, these guys. They're genuine. They're real. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. Simple as that. But if there's chairs to get out, chairs to put away, stuff to be cleaned off, bus, stuff on the bus, you know, your parents, doggone it, they're giving us all this food after games. So now there happens to be some wrappers and stuff like that here or there that gets strewn around or whatever. Most people are pretty good about picking them up, but there may be stuff around, and he's not uncommon to see him. There are several others here the same. Taking stuff off the bus, putting chairs away, like after games. Gosh, I look down the line here, and it's hard to pick one person out, but yeah, that's special. Let me add this. What a first year having class, and what a treat to have in class. See one more dimension yet of the total person. Highly intelligent, which I guess we knew anyway, and that's neat. But so, when somebody's so highly intelligent, still so down to earth and humble about it, and treats other kids in class whether it's the D student or the A+ student or whoever in the class, treats them with such kindness and respect. That's pretty neat. He enjoys tackling difficult tasks. He loves that challenge, to be challenged mentally with difficult things, and he enjoys the simple things. He enjoys being around kids and just whatever. What an honor to win the Trester. Jason's the epitome of what the Trester is all about. And maybe even more special than that, there's no difference in him now, in how he acts around school, around people, before, during, or after. And I don't think any of these other kids are as either. Get after a state championship or after a Trester award. In this class of mine, once a week, they go work with some other kids. And Jason's working with some pretty severely challenged kids over at Menominee. And there's one little guy in there, if you can understand him, who knows Jason plays basketball. And if you listen carefully, he'll tell you, I saw him on TV. Yeah, it's kind of hard to understand these words, but he struggles with it a little bit. The other kids don't have a clue. They don't have a clue whether he plays basketball or maybe what basketball is. But every single one of them thinks great Jason is the greatest. Why wouldn't you? So do I. Also all conference this year, Chad was. I remember watching him also in junior high. I think it was the Warsaw game, kind of stands out in my mind a little bit, but he's different. Just something different about this guy. Competitive spirit, that sort of thing, for a junior, or anybody, but a junior high kid just really stood out. He's our point guard, you know that, sometimes. He and Randy, or I don't know what they are, point guard or two guard, they're kind of interchangeable. Chad is second in scoring, second in rebounds, a point guard. Second in rebounds. Nope, that's no mistake. Second in assists. First in free throw percentage, that I don't think will surprise you. Shot 86% from the free throw line. I would like to see a statistic on him in the last, in close games towards the end. I think that 86 would be closer to something, 96 or 98 or something like that. Boy, your winning margin was whatever it was, 11 points, 12 points, or whatever on a team that you could go right down the wire with. Those free throws at the end of the game are big in that regard. Offensively, I think obviously he's a great shooter. Takes care of the ball. He's just one guy. Like just love having him in his hand. There's been years when we were out the corner of the bench because you're sitting on the edge of your seat. Can we get it down the floor across the 10-second line against these good pressuring teams? And we would sit back thinking about plays this year that we're going to run, because that's kind of understood with guys like Chad on the floor. And then he comes down the floor and maybe one of the better cutters we have, a guy's getting open, and if you watch him, man, what a, and when you, it's hard with these guys, it's hard to break it down. You try to think of one or two key words for them. And work ethic for Chad would have to be one of 60 words I use on it. But boy, just offensively, the way he cuts. I mean, he'll be going one direction, stop, be going back the other direction. I would hate to guard him. He is hard to guard, and that's a goal we have. And to work that hard on offense, and then these guys are wanting to also probably work on the other end defensively a little bit as well. Not real normal thing to do. It's kind of take a break a little bit offensively. But he can make an offense look real good with not just the way, not how hard he cuts, but how smart he cuts. And neat thing about Chad is he's such a humble guy. He's always giving credit to passers and screeners, and well-deserved credit, but he works pretty hard to get open. Defense, he's a great defender. There's one thing that stands out with Chad defensively, and it's such a key part of our defense. And I mentioned it with Jason, and it's something that we call a fake trap. And it's, for you old timers, it's kind of a help and recover. And I don't know, we didn't get a vote on this. I think Chad's the best at that. And it's where I'm guarding my man, and your man is dribbling to me, and I'm going to fake like I'm going to come at you, and then drop back and still not let my man get the ball, or if he does get it, really be on him right away when he gets it, so that we can really pressure the ball when it's caught, and yet kind of help that guy that's driving. Why do we do that? I don't know if it's totally necessary all the time, but it feels like some teams are faster than us, quicker than us. And one-on-one, most anybody can beat anybody one-on-one. But one-on-two or three or five, we feel like maybe you can neutralize that, balance that out a little bit. No big deal. All you do is step back at him and drop back and get your man. Well, talk about the coaches, they're expecting something else too. Like we're switching on defense. Okay? So here's this man, I'm guarding this man's going that way, so I'm coming this way. Oh, I got this man now coming out this way, this man this way. Oh, this guy's driving at me, I'm supposed to step at him, pick up my man here, not let him get the ball. No, I don't have him, I got the other man now. Yeah, it's not easy. Okay, you better be a hard worker, yes, and a hard worker is important, but it's not the most important. You better be focused. You better develop some good habits. You better be disciplined mentally. And one of the toughest things to do, I think, in basketball is to be able to know where the ball is, your man is, and 3 or 4 other players are, where your head is moving all the time. And Chad is exceptional at that. Importance of that, just like I said before, so many teams look mediocre driving against us because it looks like you got 7 players on the floor, 8 players on the floor. And it's a Chad Clinton type player that creates that for us and makes teams look like they had that off night against us. Tough, hard-nosed competitor. Maybe that sums him up at least somewhat. Injuries, always an injury coming off of football for Chad. He's kind of in a vulnerable role right there. And he's not one to back off that in football anymore. He is in basketball. He missed a few days. He had a bad ankle early. And he would have come to practice. I think Kristen wanted him to miss a couple of days, but then he would come to practice after that, and we just had him stay out a few days. And I don't know what I was thinking. Long football season, And you come into football and the first day of basketball, you're totally out of it, you feel fish out of water type feeling. And I'm thinking, okay, this kid he's a normal teenager. I know he's exceptional in some areas, mentally and emotionally and all that sort of thing, and physically, but he's a normal teenager. And he comes into practice, and I guess I was expecting where you just come in and you kind of go hard at it and you walk out of practice and go home. First day. Not Chad. First day. I mean, he is out there like it's the key practice before the championship game. I mean, his enthusiasm, his work, his leadership, his pointing, his intensity, his eyes, he was just totally in it from minute one this year. And I just kind of, after practice, kind of shook my head. How could I underestimate that? How could I be lulled into thinking this kid was normal in any way in that regard? His competitive spirit. I can remember Michael. I just thought of that. I can remember Michael back, he's a senior in high school, carryover coming in, I don't know, it's 8 o'clock at night or something, summertime. And he's going through his workout and stuff. He's going to shoot these 3-pointers. And he tried to make 10 in a minute. And he'd already had a hard workout, so he's kind of dragging anyway. And you rebound your own shots, so you're going full speed. You can get about maybe 12 shots in, if everything bounces right, maybe 13, sometimes 11, one bounces off. And Michael gets 9, he gets 8, he gets 9, he gets 8. And what he's doing, he's watching the clock. We don't have anything else. High-tech stuff, so he's watching the clock. When the minute hand gets on the 12, he starts. And he goes for a minute. And then he waits a minute in between. So he's doing that, and he's doing that, and he's doing that. Carry out, about ready to go to sleep, and it's about 45 minutes, and he's 8 and 9. It's a pretty darn good percentage. But he won't go home. We only brought one vehicle, and he won't go home until afterwards. And I thought, Chad, his junior year, after practice, during practice, I don't know if it was that one or another one of those where the time he didn't get his goal. So he's staying after practice. And it's like one of the first days of the year, just coming off of football after not shooting for a while. And he stays, and he stays, and he stays, and he stays, and he keeps shooting. And finally he gets it. And I thought, oh brother, I've got another one of these guys to deal with. And I thought, oh brother, we'll take another one like that to deal with. But that's his competitive spirit. And I think I even maybe saw he and another one of our point guards, a junior, in the morning a few times during tournament time. Like I get here at 7 or something like that, and they're in there shooting Chad and Randy beforehand. Chad's he's kind of like a racehorse. These other guys are the same way. Kind of like a racehorse before going into the shoot. The doggone national anthem is a long anthem sometimes. And you can just see they got all that pent up inside. They're ready to go. But they control it in a great way. Poised and that's Chad. Always poised and composed. Yeah. Keep coming up with words. I couldn't leave without saying something about leadership. I think most of you can see the obvious, but let me tell you something about these seniors. We have never, us coaches have never written anything on the board before a game. Never, I don't think. Well, maybe as we're talking, maybe write some superficial things out there. These seniors go in and do it. They will write stuff on the board. And they're not writing things like rebound, play hard, stuff like that. I mean, they're not, these are the keys to the game, the TV keys to the game. No, that's the, I mean, it's specific things that we need to do against this specific team to play as effective as we can. Man, I'll walk in there and look up and I'm thinking, what do I say? I mean, it's there and it's coming from them. And what a difference when it comes from them as compared when it comes from the coach. Pre-game, halftime, I'll walk in at halftime and I'll be walking past them back in another room and I have to kind of say, excuse me, and duck under because those are things I never had to do in the past. And duck under because they're doing stuff on the board. When this guy cuts here, up to the free throw line right here, and they're setting that screen. If you switch up here, I'll switch down here, and they're talking real stuff. They're not saying meaningless generalities like, we need a rebound more. Come on, guys. They're the emotional leader type. We're not into that, and we don't have that. It's okay. It's okay. I don't think it's championship stuff, but it's okay. These guys are the championship level. I mean, their mind is in it. Before the game, during the game, most importantly, in practice, in preparation for the game. And I think you can see the huddles that they create on the floor, and there's specific things being said there as well. Naval Academy assistant came to one of our games. Most of you probably don't know that. And see, the Naval, he was talking to me after the game. He was at the regional. He was talking to me after the regional finals, and he said, "Man, we are a lot like you. We're playing teams like I see you playing here today. That we look at them, and they're more athletic, maybe more ability in some areas. So we've got to find some ways to hang in there with them." And he was so impressed with these guys. And he mentioned something about Jake. He mentioned something about Chad and his leadership and how he got people on the floor together at key times and all. And I thought, okay, that's me from some people. But a guy from the Naval Academy who knows the importance of something like this and what a factor it plays in the game, I thought, wow, that's really special. Here's some quotes for you. Leave it all on the floor. Give it your best. Try your hardest. That's all we can ask. You like those? Those are good. Those are good. These guys are smiling right now. Those are good. But to me, they don't mean too much. A guy like these players here and a guy like Chad who just personifies this, to really leave it all on the floor, to really give it your best, they'll do some things physically, okay? Physically, in preparation. Kind of like, we'll say sometimes kind of like going in to take a history test. Okay, go in there, sit down, and give it your best. Give it your best. Did you? Yep, I sat down there and tried my hardest. Pushed hard with a pencil, thought as hard as I could. That's kind of a no-brainer. Did you prepare for it all? No. But when I hit that floor, I gave it my best. Yeah. Well, in basketball, for us, we feel like giving it your best is maybe something beforehand, preparing beforehand. So some of these guys physically will, and Chad's obviously one of those. I mean, those extras in practice, maybe nobody else knows. Space I was talking about, go hard in. Maybe only you know how hard you're going at certain times in practice. The coaches are watching all 10 guys all the time. No. And maybe you do some extras there. Maybe you give up some things. Champions do the things they hate to create the things they love. They do the things out of their comfort zone to create the things that they'll enjoy later. Maybe it'd be changing diet for a few weeks, a few months, something like that. Because I know I'm going to be healthier. I know I'm going to be stronger. I know, not much. Maybe a little bit more reserved at the end of the game, something like that. Maybe it'll be giving up something like TV or computer or something like that to get more sleep. Because I know that may give me just that little bit of an edge. And doing all those things physically when I get on that floor and get off of that championship game or whatever the last game is, I gave it my best. That would be exceptional. That would be above and beyond. That would be enough for some of these guys. They'd have to go another dimension yet. They'd have to do it mentally. Do I know all our plays inside and out? Yeah. I'm going to know them inside and out. I'm going to know the opponent's plays. I'm going to know them better than they know them. And backwards and forwards. And focus and practice on everything that's going on. So that I am totally mentally into it. You get somebody that coaches it, and that would be a Chad. Among many of these others, that would be a Chad. You get somebody that coaches it in both of those areas, wow. Now you can walk off that floor and say, I gave it my best. But guess what? That wouldn't be enough for Chad. And some of these other leaders, because there's still another dimension that's outside of myself, since it's a team sport. Does everybody else know where they belong? Is everybody else on the same? Does everybody else know their plays as well as I know their plays? Can I get these across to them during the game, before the game, in the hallway maybe sometimes, right after practice when I'm talking to people, and I'm thinking, I'm not sure, maybe a player or two knows exactly what they may do at this time. Do you know, after timeout, oftentimes they'll run this play, or they will maybe press you after this, and get everybody else around you another dimension yet. You get one of those, wow, you have to feel like you're pretty close to giving your best. And then you get a guy like Chad, among his teammates here, a few others that are the same way. Champions not only get themselves ready, just as ready as they can, they get their teammates as ready as they can. And I don't think I'm going to give you any secret right now. I'm telling you, Chad Clinton is a champion. Chad.
Okay, wow. Season that's given us a lot of things to talk about and a lot of great things. I was talking to Jake and Chad, I think maybe last night, you know, what was your favorite game played this year? I think Jake, what'd you say, Jake? He enjoyed the DeKalb game. I don't know, I was thinking back over the season a little bit when I asked him that. And I don't know, lots of great games, but I don't know, beating Warsaw, the way we beat them, might have been the best one for me. I just love to beat the Tigers. Got some individual awards here we're going to pass out. Get a little help from my friends over here. Sorry about that. Most improved, Coach alluded to a while ago, Jared Windle. Next award that is on Mrs. Hunter's list here is the Mental Attitude Award, Iron Fall Stitch. Next two awards belong to the same person, so we'll get them here together. Most rebounds and the Best Defensive Man Award, Jacob Palmer. leading us and assists, and called him our Most Outstanding Player Award, Randy Davis. Best free throw percentage this year, as Coach alluded to a while ago, and an Outstanding Leadership Award, Chad Clinton. And last individual award here, once again, Outstanding Leadership and the Coach's Award for his unselfish team play, Mr. Trester Award winner, Jason Renz.
Jerry made something for a few of you guys that kind of like the trainers did. She put some time into.
I'm going to pass, we're going to have something that we'll pass out to you. If you wait just a few minutes before you open it up till, we'll tell you here in just a minute. Coaches should have one. I told you something earlier, I mentioned something earlier about Doc Bowen, Governor Bowen. And he's a pretty special man in Indiana history, Indiana basketball, and just a special person. And I would not give this out to just anybody. This is something that was also signed by another person, and you'd have to be pretty special. You would have to have the right mentality to understand this or be meaningful to you. And this group, I feel, has that. It is a pyramid of success. And Coach John Wooden has signed it with your name on each one of them. And I'm not really big on something that, oh wow, that you got this famous person to sign his name on or something like that. I wouldn't do it for that at all. I wouldn't bother this 96-year-old man with something like that who gets so much from all over. But for you guys that think, and to some of you this will mean a lot, to you guys that think like he does, I would do that, and he would do that. And that's where I got him up there pretty high. So you know I got you up there pretty high too. You can go ahead and take a look if you want. And PJ and Jason now have an advantage in class.
Players, remember we got some hats up here, we've got some plaques up here. If you brought a basketball, make sure you grab those before we're finished here tonight. I think that's about it from us. Who's coming up?